Mogul Motivation, empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs and dream chasers worldwide, 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I'm your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. If you don't know, I love running. I love track. Track is arguably my favorite sport. The most gifted sport, personally, that I have ever participated in. And I've been on a journey for the past couple years to just push myself to new limits and new heights. You know, I was never a distance runner when I ran track. I was a sprinter. So now I do all distance runs. I do 5Ks, 10Ks, things like that. But here in Chicago, it gets cold. You know, it gets very cold in Chicago. So therefore, me running outside is a big no-no. Not doing that in the snow, not doing that when the temperature is 0 degrees, close to 0 degrees. I'm just not doing it. So throughout the winter, I slacked. And then as the weather started to slowly but surely break earlier this year, you know, I got back in the gym, started running on the treadmills. But even then, I was inconsistent. And I would say in March, I was very inconsistent. And I just now started to find some sort of consistency. And my body is aching. My legs are hurting, you know what I'm saying? I could tell my breathing isn't like it used to be, you know, so it's essentially like I'm starting over from day one. You know, all that work I put in the past couple years, it really don't matter at this point because I got to start all over, build up my endurance again, get my speed back to where it is, get my breathing back to the where it is, and my body has to get used and acclimated back to running. So I'm starting over from day one, and it's a challenge. You know, it can be kind of discouraging, but I got to do it. You know, if I really want to accomplish my running goals, my fitness goals, I have to do it. On the business side, it's been a very rough couple weeks for me, you know, just trying to manage everything that I got going on, just trying to stay focused. But, you know, I received encouraging uplift from people who listen to my podcast, you know, who basically randomly tell me that, you know, their podcast helps them, who basically tell me that I'm going to have a great week and I'm going to be successful. Those things refuel me and keep me focused. And ultimately, you know, it helps me keep the pace, right? Because even though I'm starting over with my running goals, I have to keep that pace because at one point I had to start over before, right? You know, 3-4 years ago, that was my first time running since college, which was 6 years before that. So it's okay if you have to start over from day one, but as long as you keep that pace, just keep the pace and you're going to rebuild that endurance and you're going to get back to where you used to be and beyond. So the same thing applies to business and with your dreams, especially in my situation that I'm speaking of right now. I just got to keep the pace. I'm frustrated. I'm discouraged. You know, I'm irritated at things that's been going on around me, but I have to keep the pace. Everything that I built, I can't let it falter. I have to keep the pace. So whatever my goals are, whatever my deadlines are, whatever it is that I'm striving for, I got to continue to execute and get there. That's what you have to do. You may be very uncomfortable right now. You may be very discouraged right now. You may be very angry and frustrated right now. Trust me, I understand 100%. And I don't even have to know what your situation is, but keep the pace. Do not stop. Do not quit. Continue to do what you have to do. You have your task. You have your goals written down. Continue to do what you have to do to execute and accomplish those tasks. Because see, the problem is, as humans, we put so much trust, so much faith, so much loyalty into earthly systems, man-made systems, you know, whether it's credit, financing, you know, all of these systems that run this world, we put all of our trust in that instead of putting our trust in God. God is greater than all of these man-made systems. God is greater than all of these barriers that surround us, that stops us from accomplishing our goals. We have to continue to execute and focus on what we control and put our faith and our trust in something greater than all of these man-made systems and barriers and watch those barriers come tumbling down. I don't even have to know what your situation is. I don't even have to know what you're trying to achieve, but watch the barriers that's stopping you from your goals come tumbling down as long as you keep the pace, keep the faith, and put the trust in God and do not quit. That's what's most important, and that's what I have to tell myself right now because I'm going to be honest with y'all. This morning, today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. This morning, I got an email right before I started recording that pissed me off. An email that pissed me off, an email that just really shook my soul. But guess what, though? Fuck that email. Fuck what they telling me and fuck the results, whatever they're talking about. I have to keep my pace. I have to continue to do what I gotta do. I have to continue to stay focused on my goals, on my finish line, so I can get what I want. Because that email ain't gonna stop my show. Whatever bad news you got, whatever discouraging news you're receiving, it's not gonna stop your show. It's going to hurt, yes. It's going to be uncomfortable, yes. It might feel like a thorn in your side, yes, but it ain't gonna stop the show. It ain't gonna stop your pace. Just keep your pace. Continue to run your race. It's gonna be uncomfortable, just like it's uncomfortable with me, trying to get back on pace with my running goals. I'm running on the treadmill. I'm finna start running outside again. It's uncomfortable. My body is aching. I'm not as fast as I used to be. My endurance ain't where it used to be, but I gotta keep the pace so I can get back to where I used to be and go beyond. And that's what you have to do. Do not stop. Do not stop. That's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very short, very brief, and straight to the point. Your endurance, your perseverance, your enthusiasm is going to continue to build. Your tolerance for pain, your tolerance for disappointment is going to continue to build, because you're going to realize that no matter what happens around you, it's not going to stop your execution. And your execution will deliver as long as you stay focused and continue to trust something that's greater than all of these barriers and man-made systems that's stopping you in the first place. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. Keep the pace, ladies and gentlemen. If this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. Number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week.